walking out because we can't afford to be silent in the moment we're facing. Our generation's facing so many crises right now, and we need an educational system that is capable of addressing these issues and making people informed and aware of what we are facing as a people. This isn't just about marginalized voices. This is as much about the entire nation, the entire state coming together and showing resistance to systems of oppression that are in our everyday lives, conscious and unconscious. Yeah.
Absolutely, Dr. Carlton Smith, and honestly, one, I believe in student empowerment. So the biggest thing, how could you not be here? When you're seeing students actually use their voice and their power and actually tap into how much they actually do run the lifeblood of this institution. And number two, we failed our students, right? They shouldn't have to keep doing this. I remember protesting back when I was an undergrad, and we're still doing the same thing today. So at the very least, all I can do is show up to support them.
So there's this bill, HB 187. Since I'm trying to be a teacher, what this bill essentially does is it kind of restricts the way as a teacher I can teach, right? Let's say, for example, I'm in high school, right? I'm teaching about slavery. We're talking about abolition, and we say, oh, yeah, we had some white people do some good things, but then a majority of them didn't really care or it didn't really bother them, right? If you as a student feel uncomfortable, right, you can go back and be like, oh, mom, my teacher is teaching whatever. I feel uncomfortable, he's making me feel unsafe, whatever. Then the teacher can go to the school and then sue me for teaching history, right? And have me fired. As a teacher, I felt like it was important to come out here. Like, obviously the other issues are important, but I feel like this affects my livelihood. Like, how do I survive and how do I teach honestly, right, with this bill passing? So that's why I'm out here.
The biggest reason is, one, I feel like it's important to support students who are taking a stand and taking action, not just on behalf of themselves, but also on behalf of me, right? Like, they mention faculty and staff many times, and so it's important for me as someone who, has some institutional power but doesn't actually have this kind of student power to support them and show up. And that's really important for me. Mm-hmm. Also, I agree.
Yeah. So when they mentioned the faculty and staff, like, how did that affect you? Like, how did that like gain an impact on you?
Yeah, I mean, I think our students are most impacted when faculty and staff and folks who work here don't feel as supported or don't feel like they have the bandwidth or the energy or the space to show up authentically and to, be here and get paid, what folks deserve to get paid and all those kinds of things. So it's important for me to know that students are thinking of us in the same way that we think of them, right? They talked about feeling cared for, right? So in the same way that I am thinking of and advocating for and caring for students, it makes me feel like my work has not gone unnoticed to hear them say that back to me,
Well, I think the issues are very important. I think the state is coming for our educational system, trying to erase Black history. And I think it's something that we need to be very vocal about. I think this affects everybody. Injustice everywhere is a threat to justice. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So we have to stay vocal and stay present.
Today I'm walking out. This is actually my first protest, so I have a lot of feelings over me. But I'm really excited. I was talking to my teammates. I'm on the women's basketball team, and we talked a lot about privilege and understanding that privilege doesn't just have a color. It's a lot of things that go into that. I'm so blessed to come from a small town in Columbia, South Carolina, and be able to come to a university where I'm able to grow my education, where I'm able to make a difference in the world. I'm so thankful for it.
Mm-hmm. This is powerful. What I see here is a lot of momentum, and what happens in the next week is going to be telling of how that momentum's carried forward. I see a lot of energy. I see a lot of activation and spirit from our students, especially the student organizers for this event and for this walkout. And I do hope that leads to action. I'm going to use my position power along with the rest of my departments to make sure we can carry some of these demands to action.